In the kitchen with Elisa. Cherry pie. How pretty that is. Hey everybody, welcome back. You're in the kitchen with Elisa, and today we're making a seasonal favorite, cherry pie. Let's make the filling. So first, we just pitted all of our cherries that we got. They smell delicious and they look beautiful. Okay, now we need to get our filling going. So, I'm so organized it hurts. 5 tablespoons of cornstarch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 5 tablespoons of cornstarch. Set that aside. You need like 3/4 of a cup to a cup of sugar. This depends on how sweet are your cherries. Are your cherries nice and sweet? Mine are pretty sweet. I'm gonna do like 3/4 of a cup and just a little bit more. So there's 1/4 cup. 1, 2, 3, and then probably not like quite a cup. I'd say like another like tablespoon or so, just because mine they're not super sweet, but they're pretty good. So we're gonna leave that just like that. Okay. This seems unlikely, but we're gonna give this just a little whisper of cinnamon. Trust me, it works, and if you don't put it in there, it's like missing something. So you're gonna give it like a little dusting of cinnamon. I'd say like a 1/2 teaspoon, maybe that. It just adds a little flavor. And now we need to add some lemon juice. So let's cut this bad boy open. Cutting board. Don't do that on your counter. Don't do that on your counter. Okay. And you don't want to get any seeds in this. I didn't buy seedless lemons, so strain. This you want to do about a tablespoon of lemon juice. This is gonna help get your juices going a little bit. It's gonna add like a little bit of acid to this mix and a little bit of flavor. Let's give this a really good mix. Okay. So at first, this is just gonna look like dusty, like almost like frosted cherries is what this is gonna look like. The cherries are gonna start releasing their juice, and it's gonna start mixing with the cornstarch, and it's gonna make like a goop with all that cherry juice and stuff. And the lemon juice and the sugar. So this is what we look like right now as I drop the whole spoon in the mix. This is what we look like. So this is giving like I said, frosted cherries, but we need to give it a little bit because look here, this is already happening. As you can see, wait, can you see? How do I do this without tilting it off? Okay, on here, there we go, we got it, okay. It is releasing its juice. It's already doing its thing. See the open part of the flesh, how it's getting the sugar wet and the cornstarch? It's already making our cherry filling. So we're gonna mix this, let it rest, mix it, let it rest, until eventually everything in here is gonna be wet, okay? So I'm gonna let that kind of go for a minute. We're gonna cover it with saran wrap just so nothing gets in here. And kind of mix every few minutes until it makes like a nice goopy consistency. And when that happens, I'm gonna come back and I'll make sure to show you over the cherries so that you can see exactly what that looks like. So, let's let our cherries do their thing. We're gonna come back and I'm gonna show you how to prepare your crusts. Hey everybody, welcome back. We're at the next part of our cherry pie series. So, our cherries have just made all the goop so everything is wet in here now. There is no unwet cornstarch or cherry mix. This is exactly what it's supposed to look like. It's very thick. The cornstarch is not cooked yet, but it's still beautiful. Look at that. Okay, let's get to work on our pies. So, like I told you in the video before, I may have cut that part out. If I did, I bought pie crusts. I do not mind store-bought pie crust. If that bothers you and you want to make yours from scratch, baby, more power to you. I like this little pie crust. I don't mind it at all. So we're gonna roll this bad boy out nice and gently, because he was in the fridge, you know, so he's a little stiff. Okay, take your time. Don't be mean to the pie crust. Take your time and roll that bad boy nice and gently. Oh, we got an extra little piece here. Nice and gentle. Okay, and we're gonna lay that bad boy right into our pie tin here. Okay. Make sure you have a little bit of overhang everywhere, because we are doing a top on here, so we need to have a little bit of overhang in everywhere, because that way we can seal our pie. So we're gonna kind of just I'm very gently pressing my edges in so that the bottom of the pie dish is filled with the pie crust here. And I'm just kind of making a nice edge out of my pie crust all the way around by gently pushing with my fingers, not my fingernails, because the fingernails will puncture your pie crust. You don't want that. So very gently with your hands, push down your pie crust. Look at my hands are still stained from the cherries. Okay, that's okay. All right, push that bad boy down. Because your hands are warm, it's gonna be making it a little bit easier to work on the dough a little bit here. See? Making a nice little shape here for the bottom of our pie dish. Okay. That looks perfect. Okay, so in order to seal both of our sides, I'm gonna make my egg wash now. So let's grab an egg. And an egg. Let's go ahead and whip this bad boy. Now we're gonna use the egg wash in just a little bit after we make our pie. So after we assemble our pie here, we are actually going to let it refrigerate or sit in the freezer for like 15 to 20 minutes while our oven preheats. That just kind of helps our pie set up. Give it a nice beat here. You can throw like a tablespoon of water in there if you want. I like just a regular old thick egg wash. If you need to beat up another egg later, you can. Don't worry about it. Okay. So I actually don't know, because this is an 8-inch pie dish, if this is all gonna fit in here. This is quite a bit of cherry filling. If it doesn't fit, that's okay. You can make, like, if you have extra pie, like crust pieces, you can make something in like a separate pie dish, pie crust actually, for like a whole separate pie. But you can make like a little cherry turnover or something, or you can make like a nice little cherry like biscuit topping or something and do like a cobbler style. Don't waste your cherries, do something good with them. But I'm gonna try to get them all in here, so let's try to do that together. Let's see if we can't get all these cherries in here. I think we can, let's do it. We want all that cherry goodness. It's gonna be a tight squeeze, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I am probably gonna have to grab a spatula for this. But look at how pretty that is. Yeah, I need a spatula. Hold these onsies. Let's get a spatula. This is getting messy. Oh, I got some on the counter. Let's taste it. Still good. Okay. The cornstarch is still raw, so obviously it tastes like raw cornstarch, but that's okay. I feel the vision and I can see it, and this is gonna be so good. This is actually just a really good little classic cherry pie recipe that I love, because it really just tastes like summer. Okay, don't get that on your clean stuff. There we go. You can't see that, but there's like a little piece of saran wrap there I just threw that onto. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. Yeah, that's a beautiful color. I need a lipstick in that color. All right. Yeah, get all that. You want all that filling in there, loves. You don't want to waste any of that. Get all that cherry goodness. That's that juice that kind of made that nice syrup, that nice, beautiful syrup that you would have like in a can. That's what that is. So you want to make sure you get all that out of there. But we did it from scratch and it's going to taste so much better. Okay, get that in the sink. Get your cherries spread. This looks beautiful. I am so excited. Spread all your cherries out. They fit, everybody fit. I'm telling you, you can detect just like that little hint of cinnamon. So good. Okay, we're not done. We have like a little tablespoon of butter. You're gonna take your little tablespoon of butter and make little cubes out of them, just like I did here. And you're gonna spread them throughout the top. This is very necessary. You're supposed to do unsalted butter. I like salted butter on this part. You don't have to do the salted butter. I like it. It's a touch that I enjoy, so I kept it because one day I only had salted butter. So that's what I did and I really liked it and now that's how we do it. So if you want to do it with salted butter, you try it that way. But the original recipe is unsalted. There we go. So look at how cute and pretty that is. We made that together. Okay, hold on, wash your hands. We need to make the top. So unroll your other half of it. I should have done this earlier because now it's like, it's hard to get that little lippy undone. There we go. We got it, we got it. Listen, just be patient with your pie crust, okay? I have, you can't see it, maybe you can. A clear, it's like a little cutting board type, but it's very transferable. Okay, we're gonna unroll. Once again, and look at, I'm doing this very, very carefully and slowly, not to rip my little guys here. Because half the time it's rolled like that. So you want to make sure to be very patient with it and kind of warm it up with your hands as you go. If you made your pie crust, obviously you don't have to do this part. But I did mine this way, so this is what I'm doing. Okay, if you have a pizza cutter, it would be excellent for this part. I do not, so I'm going to use a knife. Okay. Graceful. Okay, we need to make little strips out of this. You can make them, I make them like an inch wide-ish, but you need to make little strips out of your pie crust here. Like 1 inch apart here. And these guys are gonna be your little lattice top. I'm gonna show you how to do that. You know what, do a little less than an inch just to make it pretty. I'll show you how mine looks when I'm done. That might even be an inch. I don't know, you guys. I don't know, I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, I was never really like a math genius or a measuring genius. I'm just here to show you little cute recipes that I can do in my kitchen, which means you can do them too. That's all. I just want to share my love of food with people so that you can do it at home and have just as nice meals as I have. We didn't have any fancy tools. We didn't have a cherry pitter. I don't even have a pizza slicer right now. That's crazy. It's okay. We don't need all those fancy tools. And that's kind of the point of my show, is that so you guys can see, like, we can just do some really good, tasty things right here in the kitchen with really simple stuff and some fairly simple ingredients and make something really nice. Because I think everybody should be able to eat good. Okay, so let me remove that little side guy there, but this is what my strips look like. So that's kind of how you're gonna wanna lay them down on here. So you're gonna wanna lay your little guy down towards your edge here. Oh, here, let me scoot back. Like that. Get your very sharp knife away from your hands. Okay, and we're gonna have to start setting our lattice, but I like to set one and then kind of start the other. So, whoops. Let's start with the kind of shorter side for this edge. So you're gonna kind of work that same kind of way on the edge here. So lift up one little guy because you're gonna go over and under, okay? That's the whole point of this part of the pie, is over and under. Okay. go again in the middle here, a little bit further up. So then once you're gonna have to lift the opposite one, right? Lift your opposite one. We're gonna work from my back corner here up so you guys can kind of see how to do this. And very carefully lay that guy back down. Look at that. We have a lattice starting. It's starting in the corner over here. Keep going. Okay, so now, because we went on top of this one, we need to go under this one and over the other one, right? So that's what we're gonna do. And like that. Okay, and just keep going down your line, guys. Let's do, this one goes on top. This one goes underneath. This one goes on top. And look it, we're making a lattice pie. It's happening. It's happening. I'm so proud. We are doing so well. Okay, so now we did the other way. So now we need to lift this guy up. Whoop. Going over him, or I mean under him. Bring him back down. Going over the middle guy. Lift this guy back up. And go over. Look at that. We're doing a lattice pie. And it's not easy. Okay, so now because this guy was underneath, this guy's gonna be on top. Right? Oop, I'm doing it the wrong way, there we go. And then we're gonna lift him up and drop this guy down, like that. Go over the next one and lift him up just like the other one. Oops, oops, there we go. And just keep going. Now we can do this one over here. We're almost done. So we did under on here, so we're gonna do over right here. Lift him up. Over. Lift him up. Over. You have a lattice pie. So now we need to make sure all these little edge guys stay. That's your egg wash is for. And if you want, like you can add another layer. So like this, I could probably add another one over here and maybe one over here. I say we wiggle it in and try, because the more crusty on the top, the better. Well, maybe not, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of perfect. I could fit more over here though. Let's try one more over here, just for funsies. Because I have one strip left. I say, why not? All right, let's see here. So let's keep our pattern. So we started this time with him over. So this one needs to go under first, right? Oops, this way. Okay. And then the opposite. So then we lift him up again. There we go. And then lift him up. And that's it, a perfect lattice. I think I will put one over here now. I feel like I have to. Let's cut this little edge off of this guy like this, just so it's a little more even. Because that's a two rounded edge, so that looks a little better. Maybe not, maybe try this side. That looks better, let's try that one. Cut that little edge off a little bit. Try to make it as pretty as possible, right? While we're here. Okay, so now because we did under on this side, we need to do over. So then this guy will be under. Over, under, over, under. There we go. Okay, so now let's take our egg wash and get it all in between and get all that pressed together. And we should have probably done that right before we did all the lattice, honestly. But here we are. I got so focused on making sure the butter was in there and the lattice was good. All right, so get that out of there. Let's not make a mess. Okay, give that a little dippy poo and go all the way around your edge and just lay them all back down. Let me move that so you can see what I'm doing here. And actually we're gonna put egg wash all over the top anyways, so it's fine because that egg wash is gonna help make it a beautiful golden brown pastry color that you love to see. But this is gonna help our pie crust stick together. So let's say you were not doing the lattice. Let's say you didn't wanna do the lattice and you just wanted to do the top and do some fancy little cutout shapes. You know, you didn't wanna do all this lattice stuff, don't do it. Just roll your top right over the top of your pie, okay? Your top pie crust. and then cut out a couple pieces on top, make a fancy cutout, because you have to have a couple of slits, otherwise your pie is gonna explode, okay? You don't want that. You need to make sure you have a couple of little outlets for your pie to bubble out. So cut a couple of little slits in there, like a cute little pattern, however you wanna do it. But then you just put your egg wash on your bottom edge, just like I'm doing now. Roll that over the top, and you push it down with a fork. And it's gonna look really cute and pretty just like that anyways. Because that's honestly what we're about to do right now, to push all of our edges together. Okay. All right. So we have egg wash all over the edge of that. Now, let's go ahead and trim our actual pie crust, but let's push it down with a little fork on our edges. So, oops, lay our edges back down as we lift it up for the egg wash. Okay, so now you're gonna take your little fork and push your edges together and make a pretty little edge pattern while you do it. Look at that. Super easy. It adds just like a little decoration to it, and it makes sure that your pie stays together, and it adds that very typical pie edge look, like that classic pie look, all around the edge on that lip of your pie tin. And we're actually going to cut off the extra pie crust, so it's okay if you have that right now. Because as you can see, like I have little extra edges of pie crust everywhere. Let me scoot back. See that all around the edge? We got to cut all that off. So we're just pushing this together because we're going to do that afterward. Pushing this together, making a pretty pie. Yeah. Almost there. Keep going. Keep pushing your pie together. And you don't want to go all the way through the metal. I accidentally did that right there. You want to try to avoid that. Okay. That is a beautiful little pressed pattern around the edge. See that? Now I need to trim it. So you can take, like, I think a butter knife works the best. If you have a sharp knife, great. But I think a butter knife works just fine. And kind of go like, as you can see, I'm going at an angle like this. That's what you kind of want to do to make sure that you keep that little edge off the top. Or the outside, I mean. And go all the way around. And clean up the edge of your pie. And then I'll show you what that looks like when we're done, and it looks so much prettier. Okay, look at our pie. You guys, look how pretty that is. Okay, get this in the freezer for like 15 minutes, or the fridge, wherever you can get it. 15 minutes in your freezer or 30 minutes in your fridge. Preheat to 425. We're just gonna do 420. I think last time it was like a little bit too high when I did 425. So let's just do 420. We're gonna clean up our mess, and then we're gonna come back, we're gonna put the rest of the egg wash over the top of our cherry pie, and we're gonna dust it with some granulated sugar. The coarser, actually, I have a coarser one we're gonna grab. The coarser the grain, the better, and that's gonna add a beautiful topping to our already beautiful cherry pie. So we're gonna finish that when we come back. We're in the last part of our cherry pie, and we have just beeped for our preheat. Our oven is at 420. Last time I did 425, and honestly, it just, I think, was too high. So we've adjusted. Look at how beautiful our pie is. Well, my freezer's still open. I have the attention span of a goldfish. Okay, look how pretty that is. We made that beautiful pie together. It's so cute. Okay, let's egg wash the top. So we're gonna very carefully just go over the crust. You don't wanna wash this all over your cherries. You don't need to do that. That's kind of weird. There's no need for that. No need for that. Just wash down your lattice top here and all over the top of your crust. You want to get the whole thing covered in your egg wash. And then we're going to cover it in a really cover it in a really coarse sugar. La 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 la, making sure it's covered 'cause it's gonna make it prettier. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This part makes it tastier. So this actually makes your little sugar crust stick too, and that kind of like, I don't know, it just makes it taste better. Okay, so we're not gonna leave this at 425. That would be like absolutely wild forever. So we're just gonna leave it at 425 for like 25 minutes. Then you're gonna turn this bad boy down to 350 for the next 35 to 40 minutes. And you know it's done when your like cherry filling has been bubbling consistently like through the top for about 5 minutes. So after like your 25 mark of your second adjustment to your oven, you need to kind of be watching it. So let me show you. The whole thing is shiny with egg, okay? You need it to be, all the crust is covered. Now, this is messy. Let me scoot you back so you can see what I'm doing. This is a very coarse grain sugar. That's what you want. It's not even a bleached sugar, it's very coarse. You're gonna do like a tablespoon right on top. That was just a pinch, so you need to make sure you do a fair amount right on top because this is gonna add a beautiful texture and it's gonna look really pretty. It adds a really pretty texture to that egg wash and the crust. You really wanna make sure you're getting it on that lattice. It doesn't need to get on the cherries. The cherries are sweet enough. But get it on your lattice. Mm-hmm. Okay, we are covered. And so is my counter. But look how pretty that is. Okay, let's get this in our oven. So you're gonna want, first of all, let's get a tray ready. So, key point, this is so important. Grab a cookie sheet, place it one rack underneath your cherry pie. Your cherry pie should be like towards the bottom middle of your oven. So this bad boy is going all the way underneath the pie on the very bottom. Oh, there's already one underneath. Just kidding, perfect, and it's covered in foil. Good. I did that ahead of time. I was wondering why I was missing one. Okay, so now this is going on the shelf above your cookie sheet. That way if anything drips out of your pie, it's not burning in your oven. Okay, timer, 25 minutes. Okay, so our beautiful cherry pie is now in the oven. We just have to wait for the 25-minute mark, drop it from 420 down to 350, and then we're gonna wait another 35 to like 40 minutes until that beautiful cherry center has been bubbling for 5 minutes straight, and then we're gonna take it out and let it rest for at least 45 minutes until we try to cut into it so that everything congeals and gets into a nice, beautiful cherry pie texture. So we're gonna come back when we pull that bad boy out of the oven. Look at our beautiful cherry pie. Oh my goodness, she just came out of the oven. She was just bubbling a little bit right there, but I think she's done now. Gosh, look at her. There's our timer. You're beautiful. Oh, now we wait about 40 minutes until she cools off. Okay, everybody, our cherry pie is cool. Let's get a slice out. That's beautiful, and it held together well. We get a fork. Look at how pretty that is. Okay. Let's make sure we get a little piece of that crust in there. A little piece of that cherry in there. Oh my goodness, hold on. The cherry's falling off. There we go. Okay, let's try our beautiful homemade cherry pie. That's so good. The cherries are cooked perfect. They're nice big chunks of it. The top of our crust, look how pretty that is. That texture is perfect. Nice and crunchy. We love that. And look how pretty it is. That's a beautiful pie. I suggest putting a little bit of whipped cream on there. I think that comes out perfect. I really hope you make this. If you do something different with it, please let me know. Thank you for being in the kitchen with me.